Wednesday evening, March 25th, 2026. A 2-minute video goes up on X. No studio behind it, no press campaign, no red carpet. Just a man in a blonde wig, full prosthetic makeup, a white suit, and a Bible in his hand.
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
By Thursday morning, 22 million views. By Thursday night, 80 million. By Friday, 121 million. By Saturday, 163 million views on X alone. Instagram added another 3.4 million likes in under 24 hours. A sitting United States senator called it beneath contempt. A fake lawsuit went viral, and Newsweek had to publish a fact check on a cease-and-desist letter that never existed. And then, days later, the President of the United States personally told the subject of the skit to sue the man who made it. All of that, the video captioned, "How conservative women in America act." No names, no direct accusations, just a blonde wig, a white suit, and the internet doing the rest. But to understand how we got here, you have to understand who Drew Desbordes actually is, and how a kid who dropped out of college and served tables at Red Lobster became the most talked about person on the internet in 2026. Drew Desbordes was born on September 12, 1994 in Columbia, Maryland. His household ran on discipline. His father, David McLean Desbordes, was a US Air Force captain and commercial pilot. His mother, Cheryl, worked at the Department of State. These were people with structure, with careers, with a plan. And for the most of his early life, Drew played along. He graduated high school early. He enrolled at Georgia Gwinnett College. He transferred to Georgia Southern University as a sports analytics major, with dreams of becoming a sportscaster. On paper, the trajectory was clear, then depression hit. In interviews, Druski had talked openly about the depression he experienced in college, how it made him stop attending class, stop going through the motions. Instead of textbooks, he was watching YouTube videos for hours. Steve Harvey, Gary Vaynerchuk, comedians, content creators, people who had built something from nothing. He dropped out after 2 semesters. His grandmother refused to speak to him unless he went back to school. His mother came home one afternoon and broke down in the middle of a skit he was filming, furniture upside down, the living room completely rearranged into a set. She looked at what her son was doing with his life and cried. According to Druski, it was a come to Jesus moment. She told him to write down his goals, map out a real path, stop counting on coincidences. So he did. He wrote it all down on a piece of paper. Then he kept going. Before the fame, he was working at Red Lobster. Before the Drake features, the sold-out arenas, the Forbes lists, he was clocking in for shifts at a chain restaurant in Georgia and coming home to film skits in his mother's living room. On October 2nd, 2017, he created the Instagram handle Druski2Funny and started posting. Nobody was watching, but the characters he was already building, the toxic frat bro named Kyle Roger, the ruthless record label executive, the overly confident guy at a party who everyone knows, were sharper than people realized. He just needed an audience. The turning point wasn't one video, it was a pandemic and a music video, both hitting at the exact same time. With the world in lockdown, people were spending more time on their phones than ever before. Druski's skits were already funny, but now they had a captive global audience with nothing else to do. His content became a lifeline for millions stuck at home. His relatable, exaggerated characters, the ones he'd been perfect in for 3 years in his mother's living room, finally found the audience they deserved. Then came the music video appearances that changed everything. In March 2020, he showed up in Lil Yachty's Oprah's bank account. That cracked the door open. But in August 2020, Drake put him in Laugh Now Cry Later and the door blew off his hinges. Overnight, Druski wasn't just a funny Instagram guy from Georgia, he was the comedian Drake chose. And in hip-hop culture, that cosign doesn't just open doors, it builds entire new hallways. In a later interview with Billboard, Druski reflected on that moment. During that time, a lot of people didn't respect me, and once Drake took a chance on me, a lot more brands like Nike and Google followed suit. Drake saw the vision. Once the Drake moment happened, Druski didn't slow down, he accelerated. In 2021, he launched Coulda Been Records, a fake record label that started as an Instagram live format where aspiring artists would audition, and Druski, in full executive character, would roast them, recruit them, and sometimes discover them in real time. The streams became events. Thousands turned in every week, not knowing what would happen next. Unpredictable, chaotic, addictive. That same year, he hit the road as an opening act for J. Cole and 21 Savage on the off-season tour, his first real taste of performing in front of tens of thousands of people at that time. In 2022, he followed it up opening for Chris Brown and Lil Baby on One of Them One's tour. With each tour, he proved he wasn't just a screen presence, he could command a stage. In 2023, he headlined his own comedy tour for the first time, Coulda Woulda Shoulda, a show that blended to traditional stand-up with live Coulda Been Records auditions. Same year, he launched For Lifers Entertainment, his umbrella company covering touring, TV, film, merchandise, and web production. He wasn't just building a comedy career, he was building a business, and critically, he owned all of it. In a Hollywood Reporter interview, Druski put it plainly, "I self-fund everything, and we 100% own all of the IP for any shows that we do." That's a line most comedians don't get to say until they're 20 years into the industry. Druski was saying it at 29. Then came the collaboration that nobody saw coming. In July 2025, Justin Bieber dropped his surprise 7th studio album, Swag, and Druski was on it 3 times. Not as a rapper, not as a feature artist, but as Bieber's functional therapist, the character weaving through the album's most personal moments. The 3 skits, titled Soulful, Therapy Session, and Standing on Business, racked up 78.7 million official streams and generated an estimated 415,000 in revenue on their own. Swag hit number 2 on Billboard 200. It was the biggest musical moment of Druski's career. Bieber himself in the studio asked him directly, "Why wouldn't you be my therapist?" And Druski stepped right into the role. Leonardo DiCaprio, who ran into Druski at an event, reportedly pulled him aside for a 30-minute conversation. He knew everything Druski, the comedian, recalled in his Billboard cover story. He knew about Coulda Been Records, he was a big fan of my character work, and he told me, "Man, you are really amazing." Druski said he was in shock the entire conversation. By the end of 2025, every major publication had caught up to what his audience already knew. Forbes ranked him number 9 on its top creators list after he earned 14 million that year. Complex named him the number 1 funniest person on the internet. Rolling Stone ranked him under 2 most influential creator of the year. His Coulda Fest Arena tour, featuring Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, Jack Harlow, Lil Yachty, Chief Keef, and more, sold out all 10 cities. Kevin Hart, who has acted as a mentor to Druski throughout his career, put it his way, when Will teaches and professors start to use creators like Druski as a case students in media, communication, and film classes. He is paving the way for so many future stars, and he captured the voice of his generation.